The Big Show on Kiss 92. Gotta get up.
Good morning, Singapore, and welcome to Good Morning Doctor on The Big Show. And today we welcome Dr. Lewis Lew, urologist from Gleneagles Hospital. A very good morning to you, Dr. Lew.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Dr. Lew. Let's jump right in because today we want to crush those kidney stones.
I understand.
Tell us a little bit more about what exactly kidney stones are.
Well, basically, kidney stones are hard particles that form in the kidney, and they are come from minerals that sort in the urine. So basically, if the urine is concentrated, they will crystallize. All these salts will bind together and then eventually form into stones.
If it's concentrated in one area.
Yeah.
Right, okay. And what are bladder stones? Are they the same thing?
Oh, no.
Okay,
they are
what are
totally
bladder
different.
stones?
Bladder stone is originate from the bladder, and they are also because of minerals, but mainly in patients who can't empty their bladder very well. So they tend to retain a certain amount of urine constantly in the bladder, and eventually they lead to stone formation.
Wow.
Funny, growing up, right, my mom always mentioned bladder stones. I had never heard of kidney stones.
Yeah. Oh.
So she would always discourage us from like drinking too much Coke or you know any carbonated drinks, because she would always say like if you drink too much of that you'll get bladder stones. How true is that, doctor?
That's not true for bladder stone, but it's very true for kidney stone.
I see.
Why
So
is
she
that?
got it mixed up.
Because basically, if we drink a lot of sweetened drinks or carbonated drinks, they all turn into oxalate in the sort of urine. In the body become oxalate, and then oxalate will look for calcium to bind and crystallize, and then form stones.
Only in the kidneys, though, for,
In the kidney
for
only.
sweetened drinks.
So does this apply to effervescent tablets as well?
Yeah, it can also.
Oh, wow.
So too much of that is also not good, because now there are a lot of like multivitamins
Yes.
and all that comes in that form, you know, of effervescent. And I feel like you know, for me, I have it on a daily basis, so maybe not such a good idea.
Even
Yeah.
Alka-Seltzer and stuff like that, you know,
Yes.
antacids and all that. I mean, it's the same thing as long as it's carbonated.
Correct.
Wow, no more champagne for me then.
Oh, that's
I
terrible.
mean, that's carbonated
that's
as
true,
well.
Yeah.
That applies as well, doctor.
Or is it sweet? Is it the
more
sugar?
more the sugar. Not so much just the carbonated alone.
Okay.
I see.
Yeah. And also the acid from the soft drinks, like
Yeah.
phosphoric acid, they
Oh.
also increases the sort of amount of oxalate in the urine.
How would I know that I have kidney stones?
Well, a lot of the time, kidney stone does not appear to have any symptom. Only in the event where the stone migrate out of the kidney and drop into the pipe that connect the kidney to the bladder.
Yeah.
And then it will cause an intense pain. And we describe this pain as like a colic because it causes the contraction of the pipe itself and then elicit as a very intense pain.
So because it has to go from the kidney through the bladder, does it mean that any stone that comes out, you can't exactly tell whether it's the bladder or the kidney stone?
Hold on,
First
doctor.
up, yeah.
Let's answer this on the Big Show TV. In the meantime, here's Jax Jones with Tonight on Kiss 92.
So because it goes through, the kidney stones go through the bladder as well, right?
Once it get to the bladder, it no longer cause any pain.
Oh,
Because
okay.
the bladder obviously is bigger sort of volume, so the stone, once it drop into the bladder, it doesn't have any more pain.
FD, can you adjust the doctor's microphone? Just push it closer to him.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, that's better. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So if it goes from the kidney, it passes through, it gets into the bladder. It is a stone. When it's in the bladder, does it become a bladder stone?
No, usually once it reaches the bladder, very quickly it will get passed out because the subsequent pipe is much wider.
Oh.
So a small stone can pass through.
Okay.
So it doesn't like stay in the bladder for long.
Right.
It will just pass out.
Okay.
How big are these stones? I've got a ping pong ball here.
Oh, wow.
Have you ever seen a stone that's this big before?
Yes.
What?
But it's if it's such a size, they wouldn't pass out of the kidney.
Yeah.
They will just stay on, and it become bigger and bigger, and then it will eventually cause a lot of infection.
So what makes some stones stay and what makes some stones pass through into the bladder? Is it just the size?
Mainly the size.
Okay.
And because when the stone started off in the kidney, they tend to stick onto the wall of the kidney.
Oh, right, okay.
As it comes to certain size, then only it become free. So usually it will become free around the size about 3 to 5 millimeter. And these are the stones that usually can then come down and then will stuck along the way and cause a lot of pain as a result.
It sounds painful.
Yeah.
I've heard of kidney stone blasting.
Yes, I was about to ask.
Yes.
Yeah. So how does that work?
Basically, we have this technology using like a machine that produces a shock wave. We call it shock wave machine. And it basically really sort of focus on sort of the area where the stone is. And then it will just slowly break it up into like powder.
I see.
Oh.
Yeah.
Painful? Is the process painful?
It's very minimal pain, but we do tend to sedate the patient so that they don't move during the procedure, so that it's more concentrated on that spot, you see.
So when it goes into powder, then it just gets passed out.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
You follow the urine and then pass out.
Okay.
So there's no way for kidney stones to sort of resolve themselves. They always have to be treated.
Yes, unless it's small, one can choose not to get it treated, but then it runs a risk that one day it may just suddenly pass out and then cause a lot of pain.
Can you see the stones from scans and?
Yes.
I was going to ask.
So that's why some patients present incidentally during some sort of scan that they do for other reason. Then they will discover that they have kidney stone, and then they will come to seek for consultation.
Okay,
see.
we have a question on our WhatsApp, which I'm just going to get to now. And let's see what our audience wants to find out. Okay, Connie says, can I ask if kidney stones are caused because we don't drink enough water?
Definitely.
Okay.
So it's encouraged that we should drink about 2 liters. And for people who tend to have stone already, they should be drinking close to 3 liters. Because this will help to dilute our urine and reduce the chance for the salt to crystallize.
Okay. But is there a case where you can drink too much water? Or
Yes, it can be, but it just causes inconvenience that you have to keep
go
going
to the loo?
toilet.
Okay. That's not too bad.
Much better to drink more water than less water.
Less water.
And
yeah.
one of the ways is to monitor the color of your urine.
You are right. Yeah. If you see that the color is quite clear, that means you have adequate hydration. Whereas if it's concentrated yellow, then you need to drink more.
Which brings me to one question. How yellow is too yellow? Are we talking like chrysanthemum tea, or are we talking like beige? Like how yellow should we...
Dark beer. Dark beer.
like signifies that we're not having enough water, you know?
Yeah, I think chrysanthemum already is
It's
a
too
sign.
yellow.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Whereas dark beer, maybe there's blood in the urine.
Ooh.
Okay, and that's a sign as well. So if someone doesn't go for, say, a regular checkup, like you said, incidentally, you're going for another scan and then you spot the kidney stones.
Yes.
Should people be going for checkups for kidney stones on a regular basis? Or because if you don't feel any pain, then you don't know it's there, right?
I only recommend my patient who already have history of kidney stone, they should come to check like once a year. But someone who have no history at all, well, it's probably not necessary.
Not necessary, okay. Okay.
How much water have you drunk this morning
Well,
already?
by the time I finish the show at 10 o'clock, I've had 1.6 liters.
Oh,
okay.
okay.
Because this is
Yeah.
1 liter, and then at home I have 600
Like a
ml.
water buffalo.
Yes, I am. I'm a water guzzler.
Guzzler,
Yes.
sorry.
Buffalo,
How
I'm
much water have you had already?
Not much.
Today, 500 when I woke up. That's
500! I beat you! 700
Oh,
milliliters
wow.
when I woke
Okay.
up. Now
Very
let's see
good.
whether we can beat the doctor. Doctor! How much water did you drink this morning?
Only 1 glass so far.
Okay. No, but he will have like glasses throughout the day. right?
Yeah,
which is
yeah.
true. Which is true.
Yeah, actually, it's not comfortable sometimes when you do a water parade. Remember when we were in the army, always having to do the water parade? Oh, you can actually puke, you know.
Because it's too
Too
full.
much at
Too
one
much.
go.
Too much
water.
Yeah.
Does the calcium in our body affect our chances of getting kidney stone?
Calcium in the blood, yes, but usually if we take calcium-rich diet, usually it doesn't. In fact, it's important to have adequate amount of calcium in our diet in order to sort of like reduce the oxalate that get absorbed into the body. So therefore, it's not necessary to avoid taking calcium in the diet.
Okay.
So why do some? Okay, let's ask this on the on air.
Here comes the fighter. That's what you say to me, say to me, say to me. This one's a fighter. Till the referee rings a bell, to both your eyes start to swell, till the crowd goes on. What we gonna do, kid?
Kiss 92 traffic.
On the TPE towards the PIE after the Pongo Road exit, a vehicle is having a bit of trouble. If you spot anything else, 8855
Good morning and welcome back to The Big Show on The Big Show TV. Our guest for this morning for our Good Morning Doctor segment is Dr. Lewis Lew, urologist from Gleneagles Hospital. Once again, welcome to the show, Dr. Lew. I wanted to mention earlier on, because we were talking about what causes kidney and bladder stones or more kidney stones, and we were talking about like carbonated stuff that's sweet. So, I just want to ask you, for people who consume like lots of beer, for example, or maybe gin sodas, or the reason why I bring this up, champagne, Prosecco, does this pose a risk?
No, they don't pose a risk. Only thing is, if you take too much alcohol, sometimes it can cause dehydration to the body.
Okay.
So it's good to drink along with some water as well when you drink all this alcohol.
Right.
Yeah.
So just to clarify once again, it is not the soda, the carbonation in the liquid. It's more a
sugar.
Combination of that and
The sugar,
sweetness.
yeah.
I see.
Okay, if that's the case, then Chan Kiet on our Facebook page asks the question. We're talking about sweet carbonated drinks. What about sugar-free carbonated drinks, because they have artificial sweetness?
Very good question.
Well, those are not so much of a risk if it's sort of unsweetened kind of carbonated drinks.
So artificial sweeteners are okay.
Yeah, acceptable.
Okay.
Acceptable. I like that. Okay.
No, I mean
interesting.
because we're talking about kidney stones.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So it's different from like encouraging everyone to take artificial
Yeah, no,
sweetness
but just in
in their
regard to
drinks all the
kidney
time.
stones.
Yeah, in
Yeah.
regards to kidney stone.
So, why are some people more susceptible to getting kidney stones then?
Yeah, good question. Well, they are I always tell patients that there's 3 factors that causes kidney stone. One is drinking water. Second is the diet. The third one actually we can't control is that we born with certain kidney that more prone to get kidney stone.
Okay.
So therefore, there is in the sense a bit of run in the family as well. Like we sometimes see the parent, the kids, they all get kidney stones.
Is there something that can be done to minimize that? I mean, if it's hereditary?
No, we
Not at all.
can't change that. Yeah, unfortunately.
This hereditary thing is so irritating. It's really so
It's
irritating.
like, I didn't ask for this, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like for me, it's more like I'm mildly hypertensive because both my parents have hypertension. I'm thinking to myself, what the? I'm trying to take care of myself and work out and everything, but then this kind of like pops up.
Yeah.
Just pushes you to be healthier. Right?
Well, I guess.
Yeah. Well, you can still influence it by changing your
The
lifestyle.
lifestyle,
Yeah,
yeah.
I've changed. I have,
Yeah.
but still, you still see those signs. So you just say it's very irritating. Okay. Anyway, let's continue to talk to the doctor on the Big Show TV. It's 8:18.
Kiss 92 Time Check brought to you by...
Got some interesting questions on our Facebook page. Celine
Yep.
says, if I have gallbladder stones, will I get kidney stones?
No, there's no link between gallbladder stone and kidney stone. And in terms of diet as well, it's totally different.
Okay.
Okay, can someone get both?
Well,
At
they
the
can
same
get
time.
both. Yeah, they
Oh.
can get both. Because our diet is sort of very rich in different things,
Yeah.
It is said that those who have kidney stones should avoid a high intake of vitamin C. Is that true?
Yes, it's a true statement. Basically, high sort of intake of vitamin C, it increases the oxalate in the urine. and therefore it will also look for calcium to bind and form stone.
Shame.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
Who
Oh my
would have
goodness.
thunk it?
Richmond is asking, I've had kidney stones 4 times in the last 6 years. Do they come about naturally despite not eating things like soy and red beans and things like that?
They don't get naturally. It's still formed from the mineral or
Yeah.
salt in the
In your
urine.
system.
Yeah, in the system. So it can be prevented in some way by reducing all this so-called oxalate-rich diet.
Which is soy and red bean. Is that what it is?
Yeah, soy,
Okay.
red beans, spinach,
Vitamin C items.
and nuts. Yeah.
Is there a medication? Okay, he's had it 4 times in 6 years. Is there a medication he can take to lessen his chance of getting kidney stones?
Yes, for patients that I do see that do come back regularly, like every few years, I do examine the urine to check for any high level of salt that we can detect, and then I will prescribe them medication, more like a supplement that contains citrate, magnesium, in order to help to sort of reduce the chance of crystallization of the salt.
Okay.
Oh my goodness. So too much salt also causes kidney stones.
Yes.
So it kind of goes back to what every doctor has said, right? A moderate diet with a low salt, low sugar, low fat.
Yes.
Right. That's what everyone's saying. Keep everything healthy. I mean, that's the main
I
message.
think the
right?
problem is this salt thing, because there are many
And
people
sugar.
who love salt,
Yeah.
and who swear by salt, and they go like, no, I can take as much salt as I
No.
want. I won't get affected. I won't get high blood pressure. I won't get this and that. And it's so tasty, right? You're having a
course.
soup.
Yeah.
You want it to be a little bit tastier. Like I had a seafood stew yesterday, and it was so flavorful. And after I got home, I was thinking to myself, how much salt was there in that soup, right?
Because we found out that I think the humans only need 2 grams a day. And 1 teaspoon is 5 grams.
Yeah.
So you only need a pinch, like literally a few grains.
And sometimes when I have a steak, for example,
Oh.
I love having a steak with salt. Just like sprinkle salt over, or have a little bit more salt with the steak.
yeah.
Vivian's asking if I have kidney stones, and they are left untreated, does it lead to kidney failure?
For kidney stone, they only cause kidney so-called failure or damage if the stone is really huge. We call it a Stackhorn stone that occupy most of the kidney. And these are the stones that can cause chronic infection. And over time, it can lead to kidney damage or failure.
So this stone that we're talking about obviously is bigger than this
Bigger.
ping pong ball.
Yeah, much
Okay.
bigger.
Yeah.
That's a kidney rock right
That's
there.
kidney wrong, yeah.
Oh boy.
That's
I
awful.
never realized there was so much to learn about kidney stones.
What is the first sign that you might have kidney stones?
Like I mentioned,
Is it a pain or
it's-
it comes through your
Backache?
urine?
yeah. When the pain comes, it's very classic that it started from the back,
Okay.
sort of depend on which side of the stone, and then it will go down towards the front of the abdomen, towards the groin area. So this is the classic
Like a passage
presentation.
almost.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Okay.
And sometimes patients also feel very bloated. There's a lot of gas in the abdomen, and obviously sometimes can be a bit of blood in the urine as well.
So these are signs that you go to the doctor right away.
Yes.
I think the blood in the urine,
That's for sure, 100%.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, but
definitely
even,
go.
even
Something
the
wrong.
pain as well, right? Some
Yeah,
people
but everyone
just
has
ignore it.
backaches. That's the problem,
But
right?
it's not the same as a backache.
but
It's a more intense. It's like we call it colic because it's like a contraction, like a cramp kind of pain.
oh.
It's gripping very strong.
So it's not like an ache or anything like
No.
that. It's very painful. Okay.
and then
So
this bloatedness, people get
bloatedness all the time.
All the
Yeah.
time,
Yeah.
Tricky. Eh?
yeah.
Oh.
Very.
And at the same time, you don't want everyone to worry unnecessarily as well, because sometimes the mind can play tricks on
I
you. Like after I think this session here Good Morning Doctor today, some people might be overthinking it.
For
They
sure,
might be
yeah.
having like a dull ache in their back, and if they didn't listen to us properly, they might be thinking, oh, okay, is there something wrong with my kidneys?
Yeah.
Or if they're feeling bloated, or if they're having a little bit of difficulty, like peeing today or something like that.
Okay, that's you. That's you, like thinking out loud right now.
No, but I think there are a lot of people like that. So I think
Yeah.
I think, you know what, if you are really fearful and have been fearful, perhaps because this must have been on your mind for quite a while, to have peace of mind, maybe just get yourself checked out once.
So, doctor, you mentioned things to stay away from, like beans and spinach, soy, vitamin C. What about things that you want to encourage people to eat so that, the risk of getting kidney stones is not that high? Is there any kind of food that you would encourage?
Food-wise, mainly if they contain some citrate, like lemonade drinks.
That's good?
That's good.
Okay.
Yeah. And plenty of water.
But lemonade has vitamin C as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know
It's
what
quite
I mean?
acidic as well.
So
But as
how-
long as you not take it in a very high concentration or high amount.
Or as in like squeeze lemon in water, for example. That's good.
diluted
Yeah.
lemon juice, right?
That's right.
Okay. So orange juice is okay as well, diluted.
Correct.
What about supplements like potassium citrate?
Yeah, we do give that as one of the supplement to reduce the stone.
Okay.
And you
Isn't there-
mentioned magnesium as well, which is
Yes,
good, right?
yes.
So food with magnesium is good. Okay.
So you're talking about fruits, then bananas are good.
Bananas,
Potassium.
yeah, banana doesn't sort of increase stones.
Okay.
Wow.
Interesting stuff. Lots of research and homework for you to do.
Yeah, plenty.
If you have any questions, remember you can always send it through over our YouTube channel as well as our Facebook if you're watching us there. The doctor is here, so free consultation is available for the next 4 minutes. Okay? So jump in there and ask any questions that you may want to ask. FD doesn't have to mention your name if you don't.
No, there are some I haven't mentioned the names. So, we talked about blasting the kidney stones.
Yeah.
Does it ever, I suppose when it's too big, you then do an operation?
But nowadays, all the operation that we do for kidney stone are mainly through like minimally invasive
Keyhole.
It's keyhole, right?
Yeah, with the endoscope.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we don't do any open surgery anymore.
How long
Okay.
does that keyhole surgery take?
Depends if it's in
Varying.
the ureter. We can do this kind of surgery with the endoscope within like half an hour.
And if it's not in the urethra?
We also have a longer telescope that can go all the way into the kidney.
Wow.
That
Okay.
can then you use the laser to break up the stone, and then we can extract out.
Amazing.
The
It's like going into a cave and then blasting the stones.
Yeah.
You know, same sort
Yeah.
of thing. If you think like Indiana Jones will go in there and then we'll blast it, everything will become powder and flow out.
So basically, you're the Indiana Jones of medicine.
yes.
That's basically what it
Of
is.
kidney stones.
Kidney stones, yeah. The other thing we always hear about is don't hold your pee, you'll end up with kidney stones.
Is that true?
No, that's not true. But it's a good idea not to hold for too long. Otherwise, you can get bladder infection.
Or UTIs as
UTI,
well.
yeah.
Yeah.
UTI.
Which is not something you want to
Yeah, no.
get.
Got 30 seconds. And maybe this question, since you are
I think
a
that's a good
urologist.
one.
Which one?
Which one? The don't hold your pee.
Yeah, but then I'm about to ask a question.
Oh, you're
now.
about
to ask a
this is
different
the best
question.
question.
Oh.
Yeah.
So, in order for us to maintain our sexual prowess, for example, what kind of foods can we consume, or
What's that got to do with the urologist?
because it's down there. but-
Oh, right. Okay.
Right.
Oh, sure.
Plenty of oysters.
Kiss 92 traffic.
On the TPE towards the SLE after the Jalan Kayu exit, an accident has been reported in lane 4. Also on the SLE towards the CTE, another accident after Woodlands Avenue 2's exit. Now this one's causing congestion all the way back to the BKE entrance. So quite a long stretch there. Once again, on the SLE towards the CTE, avoid lanes 2 and 3. Wherever you are this morning, stay safe.
Welcome back to The Big Show and The Big Show TV. Something very interesting just happened on The Big Show TV. So if you want to watch it, you want to find out what it was all about, just watch it on Facebook or YouTube, okay? We've been speaking to urologist from Gleneagles Hospital, Dr. Lewis Lew, and I think we've tackled some very, very important questions
Yes,
on the
we
part
have.
of our Kiss 92 fans.
Absolutely.
And we've also established the difference between kidney stones and bladder stones.
Yeah, and FD asked a really important question because, there are a lot of people who say sit on the bus or the train or in the office. They need to get work done. They need to go to the bathroom, but they say, no, never mind. I can hold my pee for another 10 minutes or they're in a meeting.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on holding your pee for too long?
Well, when we say too long, depending how long, but if it's like couple of hours or so, it's fine. But anything too long, like 3-4 hours onwards, there is a risk of getting urine infection. But it doesn't affect any risk of kidney stones.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
It's very uncomfortable holding your pee in.
It
I
is.
remember I did a golf trip in Bangkok once, and we had to take a coach, right? It's like, an hour and a half drive to the golf course. And I remember waking up in the morning and having my 700 milliliters and deciding it's going to be a hot day, so I'm going to have maybe a little bit more.
Yeah.
On the way there,
no.
we were on a highway, and I was so uncomfortable. So I convinced the driver to
Stop by the road,
somewhere,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and relieved myself,
Yeah.
and I was so happy.
Yeah.
I gave him 4,000 baht.
Wow, that's quite a bit. Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
So that relief,
Yeah.
right? That relief was so important.
It's like $16 you for
Oh,
that
did
pit
I?
stop. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Something
my
like
friends
that,
make fun of me till this
Yeah,
very
of
day.
course,
So you
yeah.
don't need to tip him. But then, he saved me.
That was a big tip.
So
Yeah.
I could have peed in my pants.
So you've heard of the $6 million man?
Yeah.
Glenn's the $16 piece.
Thanks, FD.
Comparable.
Yeah.
We'll need to get you a T-shirt for that.
But something like that on road trips would have been very unhealthy if you
Hold on
it
too long.
in
Yeah.
for too long. So once again, as the doctor mentioned earlier on, if you hold it in for too long, you could get like UTI, some kind of infection.
And I think a good sign is just when you're starting to get uncomfortable is the time you need to go.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah,
because
right.
everybody's body works differently, right? He said you can hold it for a few hours, but nothing more than 3 or 4 hours.
Yeah.
Some people can't hold it that long, so if you start to feel like you need to go, go.
Yeah, actually, I feel
Right.
like I need to go.
Okay,
also,
go.
right now.
All right, go.
Doctor, before we let you go, anything you'd like to say to Singaporeans with regard to kidney stones and bladder stones?
Well, drink more water and reduce on sweetened soft drinks.
Okay,
Okay.
man.
Cool.
Yeah.
Soft drinks.
And it is a public holiday tomorrow, and if you're doing any visiting, chances are there'll be a lot of sweetened drinks. So,
Mix it with water.
or
Dilute
carry your
everything
own
down.
bottle along. Yeah.
Everything in moderation. Thank
Yeah.
you very much, Dr. Lewis Lew. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for tuning in to The Big Show's Good Morning
We're back.
Yay! Look at that. Like magic, we have a new guest.
Zoe's in the house. Zoe Zora, everyone.
Good
Hi,
morning, Zoe.
Good morning.
Good
Thank
morning.
you so much for having me.
Oh, of course. Thank you so much for coming in. Now, we're speaking to Zoe. I mean, right now we're on Facebook and YouTube, but we will go on air and then we'll need you to introduce yourself again. But for those of you that are watching us on YouTube and Facebook, this is Zoe Zora, and we've got her in under the Her World, Her Spark series. Now, this is where we highlight trailblazing women in Singapore with the courage to live fully. Now, Zoe is a disability and mental health advocate and an inclusive employment recruiter. What is an inclusive employment recruiter? Can you tell us more about that?
Okay, so what I do full time is I'm an inclusive employment recruiter. I help persons with disabilities in finding gainful and sustainable employment and to be able to live like fulfilling lives. And I also get to work with employers who are looking to hire inclusively.
And do you see that increasing?
I would say definitely increasing. I was disabled like 7 years ago. I see a lot of changes over the years.
So it was hard back then. You saw not that many companies were willing to employ disabled individuals.
Yeah, and I would say not enough people were talking about it then, but you hear a lot more people at least starting to have conversations surrounding inclusive hiring now.
That's great. That's good to know.
Could you tell us a little bit about what happened 7 years ago?
Okay, so I was involved in a car accident. So we ended up hitting a tree head on. So I broke my spinal cord and I had a minor brain injury. So that left me paralyzed neck down. And over the years with therapy and being active in the gym, I've been able to regain my body back and gain function of my arms. And I love working out. So that's why I've been able to go back to work now. I enjoy doing the things I like, which is like exercising and just living life. But at that point, it was definitely very challenging because I was so used to living life without a disability. So I had the privilege of living without a disability for 20 years. So I would say it was challenging.
That's quite something.
I can't imagine what.
How many of us look at it that way? We have the privilege of living without a disability.
Yeah.
The language is very important.
Now, what was the process of, integrating for yourself, back after the accident, and what's been one of the biggest changes for you?
I think the biggest change for me was all the little things. It's like being able to pick up a pen easily or being able to do my own makeup, like so conveniently. Like I could do quite literally like so many things in a day, but now I need to put in so much more effort to get by doing the bare minimum. So I think that was a huge change because like I was so active my whole life. Being active was a huge part of who I was. So now I think although it's been challenging, I think I found like my purpose in the midst of all these challenges and suffering that I had to go through.
Yeah.
I guess it's,
You're so strong physically as well as mentally.
well, it takes a lot of effort and a lot of weightlifting.
I'll bet.
I'm sure. I mean, we take it all for granted, right?
We
We
do.
jump out of bed, we open a cupboard, we have a shower, prepare a meal. And you have had that experience. You're coming from both sides of the spectrum, if I could say that.
Yeah.
And then now there's a lot more thought and time that goes into making each step, like putting on your makeup, you said. I saw one of your videos as well, your skincare routine before going to bed. The little things that we don't even think about
Yep.
on a daily basis.
Okay, we'll go on air right now.
Kiss 92 traffic.
On the TPE towards the SLE after the Jalan Kayu exit, look out for an accident and avoid lane 4 if you have to head down that way. Other than that, it's the usual peak hour traffic wherever you are this morning. Stay safe.
Welcome back to The Big Show and The Big Show TV. Our second guest for this morning is part of our series, Her World, Her Spark, highlighting trailblazing women in Singapore with the courage to live fully. And we welcome Zoe Zora to the show. Good morning, Zoe.
Good morning.
Good morning, Zoe. Thank you so much for being here with us. Now, Zoe is a disability and mental health advocate and an inclusive employment recruiter. Now, I know you explained this to us on The Big Show TV, but for the benefit of someone that is listening to us on the radio, can you tell us exactly what that is?
Okay, so as my day job, I do inclusive recruitment. So I support and assist persons with disabilities to find sustainable and gainful employment and for them to be able to live fulfilling lives. But I also get to work with employers who are looking to hire inclusively.
And you were paralyzed after a car accident about 7 years ago. And before that, you were living as an able-bodied person. And after the accident, you had to find your own employment and go to companies and find out who was willing to take someone in who had a disability. Have you found that that's changed over the past 7 years?
I would say a lot has changed, but I would still say I still had a lot of privilege because I knew what life is like without a disability. So I know what the market is like. So I knew what I deserved and what opportunities I could have got. But for some reason, it was like everyone was only looking at my disability and not looking at me. So it was like I was right there, but I seemed to have been invisible. But I'm just seated. Like I can still do pretty much everything as anyone else. But I would say the industry is challenging, and I hear where employers are coming from because it does take a lot of understanding to be able to support the community in the right way.
Was there a specific person or a specific instance that was the biggest thing in helping you navigate this new way of life for you?
I would not say there was a specific person. I would say there were a lot of people that I encountered because after I became disabled, I got to meet so many other persons with disabilities, and I guess it gave me an insight that I never knew or never got to experience before actually living with a disability. So seeing them live a full life, I guess, gave me the inspiration to explore more. Like I was volunteering for a support group that had people with disabilities, and I saw how they were living like complete lives, and I just wanted to do the same for myself and not hold myself back.
How much was it of a mental challenge for you? Because I think, you must be mentally tremendously strong to pull through this.
I would say all of us are mentally really strong. I guess we just don't realize it until we're put in a situation where we're forced to do it. I didn't have a choice. So I had to be a bit strong to get through this. But I would say not every day is easy. Some days are still hard. But of course, in the beginning, it's a lot harder because, like you mentioned earlier, I don't have the privilege of, like waking up in the middle of the night, going to the fridge and picking up a snack because it takes so much of effort. So I understand my privilege, but every day requires a lot of active work. Like, what are we doing to take care of our mental health? Are we exercising enough? Are we like eating healthy enough? And all that is so important, and I don't think we realize it as individuals.
There's some people who are not disabled, and they've already given up on life.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
So Zoe, you are an inspiration.
Thank you so much.
All right, let's go back on The Big Show TV right now. It's 8:45.
Wake up.
So I know where I feel, and I don't know if I am allowed to say this because I'm an able-bodied person, but looking around Singapore, I feel it's a very wheelchair, pram, disability accessible country. But is there still more that we can do?
You're right. When you say Singapore is very accessible, I'm able to go to pretty much every place, and I love that. And I'm so grateful I'm Singaporean and get to live and go anywhere I want. But I think what we're lacking a bit is like the real human understanding. And I think to be able to do that, we need like real conversations happening. And I think more exposure to getting to see disabled people, because I don't think you truly understand until you have that interaction with someone with a disability. Because like I get it, like it's not easy to understand disability, and there's so many like aspects to it, and I was ignorant too. So I see where everyone is coming from. So it's like learning is important. We need to have more like trainings, learnings, more education to be able to get to being a truly inclusive Singapore. And to be like, everyone should be able to say like, I belong. I don't think everyone can say that yet.
I feel like you're the perfect spokesperson.
Yeah,
don't you?
for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Because I think, I mean, without sounding offensive, you've come from both ends.
Yeah.
You know, you were able-bodied till you were 20, and you've been living with a disability. So it's not something you were born with, you know, so you never know what walking is like, or doing everything that able-bodied people do. You know both sides. And like you said, you know what employers are looking for as well, and you know what the workspaces are like, and what able-bodied perhaps colleagues might think of disabled
Yeah.
colleagues. So you really are a really good spokesperson, and I hope you do a lot more in getting society to be a little bit more accepting
Yeah.
of disabled
I mean, I
people.
think you would help many people, both, you know,
Able and
abled
disabled.
and,
Yeah.
and disabled. You know, if you were to do some motivational sessions, just talking to them, you know.
Yeah.
Do you do that, by the way?
I mean, I do. Aside from my full-time job, I do a lot of like advocacy-related work, which is like doing like workshops, talks. I would not say just motivational, like related, but it's just sharing my experiences to educate others. Because we can find motivation anywhere, but I think what we are lacking is like education. So that is what I try to do. I use like my voice and my story to like educate others. And I also have a platform on social media, so I use that as an advantage to show others that you can live pretty much a fulfilling life, the good, the bad, like the sad, happy, and just be a whole person. And I hope not just to inspire like other people with disabilities, but just generally anyone like going through any kind of struggles.
And I think it's not just someone who's been in an accident or had an illness or something like that. It's because we are an aged population as well. Someone like my father who's had to be in a wheelchair recently as well. The kind of changes that goes on around the home, the friends, the family, how they react to you. So what was it like with your friends and your family after the accident?
Okay, so for me, I feel very grateful to say that I have a very good and supportive family. I've got 5 brothers and like 2 sisters, lots of siblings, supportive parents, and very good friends. So I think that really helped me in getting to where I am, because initially, of course, I was like non-motivated at all, because all I saw was disability as a bad thing. So I was like, wow, my life looks like pretty much over. I think they gave me enough support during the initial stage for me to get the confidence to get to where I am. And like you mentioned, anyone can, you know, actually 16% of the world's population is persons with disabilities. I had an acquired disability, but anyone can enter the disability community because people are aging. Lots more accidents are happening, and a lot more is happening. So, like, why are we not educated enough? Because it could happen to anyone.
Yeah.
I want to ask something, and I'm trying to word it right.
Because a few months ago he was disabled.
No,
No,
well, you
no,
kind
I
of,
had-
but it
You
was
were. I mean, no.
no,
I mean,
but it was difficult for you to move around.
It was
Yeah.
horrible.
You know, he had a
but
back
I'm
injury.
not joking
Yeah.
when I say that, because I mean Zoe
Yeah.
just mentioned, right? I mean, as people grow older, for
Yeah.
example,
Yeah.
then you know,
But that's not my
He had a
question.
slip disc, by the way.
Yeah,
Very
that's not
bad
my.
one.
And I had to go for an operation, but that's not my question. You were talking about education, and I hope I don't offend anybody with what I'm
It's
about to
okay.
say. I feel when it comes to education, for disabled people, for some of them at least, we need to get away from the "oh poor thing" attitude.
Oh, yes, definitely.
the pity
That
attitude.
"oh poor thing," because as you have proved, you live full lives. You know, and I think that's something that we need to stop.
Yeah.
Correct?
I fully agree. Like, I stand by that, because when I became disabled, it was like everyone was feeling so bad for me. Like, even now, they're like always feeling bad for me. But what I try to constantly tell people is like, do not pity disabled people, because you're like immediately taking away our power and like disempowering us, and that's already not giving us a chance to even try to be someone, you know. So instead, like, encourage, motivate us, like just treat us as an equal, whether it is, if we're wrong, yeah, we're wrong, call us out for it. Don't treat us so specially. For me, I'm like, why is everyone treating me like so special? Like, I don't need this extra special treatment. You can treat me special if you think I'm really cool, but not because I have a disability, because then how are we expecting a fair and inclusive world?
Yeah.
The same way in my inclusive employment recruitment related work, it's like we got to give employers a fair chance too. Like, everyone is trying. We can't say employers are not trying enough. I think they maybe don't know where to start, or maybe they just need more education, because nobody wants to be like doing bad.
Yeah. for
Okay,
sure.
let's go back on air. Jamie Miller with Better By Myself right here on Kiss 92. All the great songs in one place. Thank you so much for tuning in to The Big Show and The Big Show TV. Our second guest for this morning is Zoe Zora, and this is part of our Her World, Her Spark series highlighting trailblazing women in Singapore. You're a trailblazer, Zoe.
And an inspiration.
Absolutely.
Zoe, on the Big Show TV, you were talking about how you do not want people to feel sorry for you and have pity on you, and, you know, and like FD said, have that whole, oh, you poor thing kind of attitude. But it still at times must be very difficult for you mentally, you know, especially at the start, like you mentioned. How then do you stay positive, and how do you wake up with a smile every day, if you do, and then take care of you and your mental health?
I would say, yes, this is a very draining, like, disability is draining. That's the reality of it. At least my disability is quite draining, because it's like I have to do so many things. I have to plan everything. My life looks, I need a whole schedule planned out. So it's like, yes, some days don't look very good when I wake up, and some days they just do. So I try to like get through by my day, and I try not to be so hard on myself. And I think that's what's like kept me going. But either ways, it's like, if I like stay sad and like stay in bed, then I cannot like get off bed, live the life that I want for myself. Like, that's why I go exercise, and that makes me feel better. That forces me out of bed. And it's like, nobody is actually going to come and help me at the end of the day. I need my physical body, and I need to work for it to get out of bed. Otherwise, it's like nobody can help me. So it's like, at the end of the day, we got to help ourselves if we want a certain kind of
So you have a
life.
physical trainer?
Actually, I don't anymore. I work on myself.
Oh,
Yeah, I've seen some of the videos. Yeah.
wow. Now you're putting me to shame.
I used to have a personal trainer 2 years ago.
Okay. All right. Okay. Very cool. You are such an inspiration.
You
Zoe.
are.
You're
You
amazing.
are,
yeah.
absolutely. You know,
yeah.
I think we all have our little, you know, problems, you know, that we come to work with sometimes, you know. And I have to say, just speaking to you this morning, you've made me feel so much better.
And I think you can make everyone else feel better if you have one thing to say to anyone who's listening in now to take away from this conversation that we've had this morning. What would it be?
I would say, go live your best life. Don't judge anyone. Be your authentic self, and don't worry too much about what other people have to say, because their judgment is not going to help you get out of bed and live a happy and amazing life. Disabled people are not. I think we're all pretty much in the same boat.
I can just see it. I'm encouraging, you know, Zoe to go out there and conduct more motivational sessions. You know, and I can see that title now. Because you just mentioned, right, go live your best
Authentic,
life,
best
right?
life, yeah.
Go live your best life. But I'm going to add idiot at the end there. Go live your best life, idiot. Or maybe not.
And I think motivational is one thing, but awareness
Awareness,
is
yeah.
more important
Very
than
important.
anything else.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Zoe.
Thank you.
Coming
Thank you
in.
very much.
Thank you
It's
so
been
much
a pleasure.
for having me. Thank you.
Everybody say
Wake up feeling good. The Big Show.
in the morning.